Imagine this. You are the IT administrator for a mid-sized company. It's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, peak operating hours. Suddenly, a critical hard drive in your main file server fails. Poof, gone. Does the company stop? Do you lose years of data? Do you get fired? Or does nobody even notice because the system healed itself instantly? The difference between a catastrophe and a non-event comes down to four letters. RAID. If you are studying for your CompTIA A plus or Network Plus exams, or just building your own home lab, understanding RAID isn't just about passing a test, it's about insurance. Today on Listen to Learn, we are breaking down RAID levels 0, 1, 5 and using 10 audio-friendly analog keys that will stick in your memory forever. Introduction. Welcome back. Today we are mastering RAID, which stands for Redundant Array of Independent Disks. In the world of IT infrastructure, we are always balancing three competing needs: speed, capacity, and redundancy. You usually can't have all three perfectly, so we use RAID levels to choose the trade-off that fits our specific needs. Before we dive into the specific levels, let me give you a crucial warning, one that appears on almost every IT exam. RAID is not a backup. I repeat, RAID is not a backup. RAID provides redundancy. It saves you if a physical drive breaks. It does not save you if a file is corrupted, deleted by a virus, or if the building burns down. Now, to help you visualize these concepts without needing to stare at the diagram, we are going to use a consistent analogy throughout this video: the ancient scraps. Imagine your computer is an author dictating a book, and your hard drives are scraps, writing that book down. How we organize these scraps determines how fast the book is written and how safe the story is. Let's start with the speed demon, RAID 0. RAID 0 is also known as disk stripping. Here's the analogy. Imagine you have two scraps, scrap A and scrap B. The author dictates a book. Instead of one scrap writing every word, they split the work. Scrap A writes chapter 1 at the exact same time that scrap B writes chapter 2. Because they are working in parallel, the book is finished in half the time. This is the massive benefit of RAID 0. Performance. By swapping data across multiple disks, read and write speeds are incredibly fast because the workload is divided. However, here's the catch, a fatal one. Imagine script I suddenly quits and burns their notebook. You now have chapter 2, but chapter 1 is gone forever. The book makes no sense. The data is lost. In IT terms, RAID 0 offers zero redundancy. That's why it's called RAID 0. If you have two drives in the RAID 0 array and one fails, you lose everything on both drives. The array is broken. CompTIA specs for RAID 0. Minimum drives 2. Capacity 100%. If you have two 1TB drives, you get 2TB of space. Fault tolerance none. One failure equals total data loss. Use case: high-speed rendering or temporary cache files where speed is everything and data loss is acceptable. Section 2, RAID 1, mirroring. Now, let's look at the opposite approach. This is RAID 1, also known as disk mirroring. Back to our analogy, you have two scraps again, but this time the author tells them if you want both to write the exact same thing. Scrap A writes chapter 1 and scrap B writes chapter 1. They are writing the exact same book in parallel. Does this make writing the book faster? No, you are limited by the speed of the scraps writing. In fact, write speed is about the same as a single drive. However, read speed can be faster, because if you need to read chapter 1, you can ask whichever scrap isn't busy. But the real magic is safety. If scribe A quits and burns their notebook, scribe B is sitting there, right there with the perfect up-to-second copy. You haven't lost a single comma. In IT infrastructure, RAID 1 is the standard for operating system drives. If your primary drive dies, the system keeps running on the mirror without skipping a beat. CompTIA specs for RAID 1. Minimum drives 2. Capacity 50%. This is the trade-off. If you have 1 terabyte drives, if you have 2 terabytes drives, you only get 1 terabyte of usable space. You are paying double for the safety. Fault tolerance, excellent. You can lose 1 drive and keep running. Use case, boot drives, payroll databases, or anything that absolutely cannot be lost. Section 3, RAID 5, swapping with parity. So, RAID 0 is fast but dangerous. RAID 1 is safe but expensive, because you lose half your storage capacity. Is there a middle ground? Enter RAID 5. This is the most common configuration for general file service. It uses swapping with distributed parity. Let's go back to the scribes. This time we need at least 3 scribes. Scribe A writes to chapter 1, scribe B writes chapter 2, but scribe C does something different. Scribe C writes a summary or a mathematical code that describes what A and B just wrote. This is called parity. Now, if scribe A disappears, we have chapter 2 from scribe B and a summary from scribe C. Using the summary and chapter 2, we can reverse engineer exactly what chapter 1 said. This is the beauty of RAID 5. You get the speed benefits of swapping because A and B are writing data simultaneously, but you have safety because of that parity summary. The parity isn't stored on just one disk, it's spread across all of them. The trade-offs. First, capacity. You effectively lose the capacity of one single disk to hold all those parity summaries. If you have a 3 1 terabyte drives, you get 2 terabytes of usable space. This is much more than and better than RAID 1. Second, the write penalty. Calculating the summary takes brain power. Writing to a RAID 5 array is slower than RAID 0 because the controller has to do with math, calculating checksums every time you save a file. However, read speeds are excellent. CompTIA specs for RAID 5, minimum drives 3, capacity n-1, total drive -1. Fault tolerance, you can lose exactly 1 drive. If a drive fails, the system runs slower. It has to rebuild data on the fly using parity math. But the data is there. If a second drive fails before you replace the first one, you lose everything. Use case, file service, application service, good balance of cost, capacity and safety. Section 4, RAID 10, swap of mirrors. Visual, text RAID 10, 1 plus 0, animation showing 4 drives. They are paired off into 2 sets of mirrors, and then data is swapped across the pairs. Finally, for the enterprise environments, where money is no object and performance is critical, we have RAID 10, sometimes written as RAID 1 plus 0. This is exactly what it sounds like. A combination of RAID 1 and RAID 0. It is a swap of mirrors. Imagine you have 4 scribes. You pair them up. Team 1 has 2 scribes mirroring each other. Team 2 has 2 scribes mirroring each other. Then you swap the data across the 2 teams. You get the blazing speed of RAID 0 because you are swapping across teams. You get the redundancy of RAID 1 because every team is mirrored. CompTIA specs for RAID 10. Minimum drives 4. Capacity 50%, like RAID 1. You are mirroring everything, so you lose half your raw storage. Fault tolerance extremely high. You can lose 1 drive in every mirrored pair and still survive. Use case, high performance databases where write speed is critical and you cannot afford the parity. calculation slow down at rate 5. Conclusion. Let's do a quick file review for your exam notes. Rate 0, strapping, fast, 0 safety, needs 2 drives. Rate 1, mirroring, safe, expansive capacity, needs 2 drives. Rate 5, strapping with parity, balanced, needs 3 drives, can lose 1 drive. Rate 10, strap of mirrors, fast and safe, expansive, needs 4 drives. Remember, the goal of rate is to keep the business running when hardware fails, because hardware will fail. If this breakdown helped you understand the iron triangle of storage, please hit that like button. It helps the algorithm swap this video across the internet. And if you're studying for CompTIA exams, subscribe to Listen to Learn for more audio first tech guides. Don't let your data disappear. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video.